Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing well. I had an appointment this morning, and I'm back here waiting to take my mom to the dentist. And I thought until that, perhaps there could be a conversation we could put together. And the conversation is probably going to be focused on what emails I received this morning. Yes, the first thing I look is your sad faces every morning about your stories. And I know that you guys are going to be fine, but I would like to find a way to make you feel and understand that you will be fine while you're going through the shit that you're going through. So I don't want to leave you alone. That's why I I try my best to try to open up this whole business of hurting for these reasons that you guys talk about. Gives me great pleasure when I receive your emails, and every one of them, to my surprise, every one of them is happy, appreciative about these videos and these talks that we have together. And for me, it's where I would get my satisfaction in life. To see that young people or older people understand how to handle things that happens to us in life without letting it to become an obstacle for where we are headed or where we should be headed, or to continue our experience and journey in life. So let's talk about it. You know, you think that people other than yourself don't have problems or don't have concerns. I have many concerns myself about different things: business, family, stuff, people. Which is the biggest problem of all. People. If I was living with animals, I'm sure we will all have a happier time. But this whole business of life is about people. It's about interacting with people. We live in a world that there are other people than ourselves, and part of our life, a big part of our life, is about how the others are interacting with us, or how we interact with them, how we meet, what kind of people we meet. They're assholes, they're good people, they're educated, with good morals, disciplined, proper, or totally out of whack, and all kinds. Why? Because this brain, thoughts, creation of it, is all material process. And you have no guarantee that this process is happening properly and according to decency and humanity and compassion, correctness, politeness, truth in everyone's brain. And many people, the cylinder in brains are hitting differently. That's why we get different kind of reactions, different kind of actions, different kind of behavior in this world. What we need to do to understand, why should we allow it to affect us any bigger or big at all, how these interactions or how these things happens from the other people toward us, how we should see it, that it would not be of anything more than what it is, which is nothing really. Now it could be anything. It could be relationship, it could be any kind of a discussion or interaction or business or social or whatever. So let's get into that. I think the reason that we are, one of the reasons that we are so affected by things is because we consider everybody else to be right, or because they made an action, we're supposed to think of it as it is of any value. We have to learn that most actions by other people in this life are of no value, and it's because of their own problems or shortcomings or inabilities or disabilities, fears. It's not to do with us. That's one thing. So you shouldn't be influenced or believe into the negative interactions that you may receive out there. That's number one. Number two. I forgot number two. Let's go to number three. What was number two? I think what we seem to think about ourselves is if we are just an image, and we all focus on that image, and we think that image is more important than the actuality of who we are. We have created this image. We've talked about this in the other videos. We've created this image, and we want this image to be exactly as we design it, and we use it until we need it, and when we don't need it, we jump to another image. And anything that could disrupt or bring some kind of a disorder or deviation or disrespect to this image, we don't like it. We get pissed. And we think that image is actually what we are, the actuality of what we are. That's why everything is so important for us when it comes to us, because we think that we are only as good as what other people think of us. So if something happens by other people toward us, then that has determined that we are not what we thought we are. Our image is not what we thought we are. And that kind of makes us be a little bit disturbed. The fact is, whatever happens in life, as far as these sort of things, interaction, reactions, relationships, breakups, somebody mouthing off somebody being disrespectful to somebody, all these things, they're only momentarily. Once it's past, we're like water. You know how body of water is when you throw something in it? No matter how big or small it is in it, it makes a splash, it makes a wave, but it goes in, disappears, and the water then covers and becomes perfectly as normal as it was before the disturbance. As if nothing has happened. And in fact, nothing has happened, because when something did happen, then it dies, it doesn't exist anymore. So why should water keep moving? It has happened, it did have a wave, created a wave, disturbance, and then the water became what it actuality is, what its essence is. Not the image that that stone had created, the disturbance, the image that we could see from that stone being thrown in the water. That disturbance was the new image of the water, which had disturbed the real image of the water, which was calm and collected and in order before the storm. But right after the stone, that session is ended, is dead, and the water realizes, and the nature of water is, it comes back to what its actuality and its essence is, which is how it was before the stone was thrown at it or into it. Well, the same thing with us. We are made out of energy. And the beautiful thing about the energy is that it tells us what you see, the physical shape, is not really what we are made out of. Something made this physical shape, and that energy and this physical shape together makes us what and who we are. And like water, energy has no shape. So when something falls into us, it really doesn't hit us, because nothing outside really physically hit us. Somebody mouths us off, somebody tries to scare us, somebody breaks a relationship, breaks a relationship, some other thing, whatever happens, nothing is actually hits us physically. Even if there's a fight, any bruises or whatever after a fight, it heals and goes away. But anything of any sort that hits us, disturbs us in life, it dissolves, it hits our energy, and our energy is like the water. It disturbs our energy, but then just like the nature of our energy is in the universe, as the universe engulfs everything, we, just as that disturbance happens, also come back to the natural shape, and our shape becomes as it was before the disturbance, before of the distraction or interaction or the negative interaction or the event or the incident or whatever it was. And we are whole as we ever were. The fact is that you keep it in mind as if it's not recovered. Why? Because when you think about it, you think it's still alive. And when you think about it and you think of the emotion that it gave you when it was happening, or when the breakup happens, or when the fight happened, or when the disturbance of any kind happened, you think, you get that emotion again when you think about it, and then you think that means it is still of any value, of if it has a life, if it's not dead. And then you react to it as if it's any reality to it. There is no reality to anything that has happened. It's all dead. And we, like water, like the huge ocean of the water, have come back to our perfectness. Because that's how we're made out. The energy that we are made out of is part of the energy of the universe. And how could anything disturb the universal energy for more than that moment, or the duration of it, that the incident occurred? Right after that, the energy has engulfed it. It's like it never existed. So nothing really has happened to us. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Nothing really has happened to you. What is creating the pain for you, or disgust, or discomfort, or whatever, disturbance, is all because of you give it a value of existence which it doesn't. It's like you keep seeing a movie and you think that the movie is real. When the movie is not real. They made it many years ago, or whenever they made it, and it's all over. It's done. Nobody's doing whatever action you're seeing in that movie. So whether somebody's laughing or crying or running or sitting, it's not happening anymore. You're just looking at it again, and you give it reality. Just because you think of it doesn't mean it has reality. And when it did have reality, it was of no consequence. But you made it a big deal to yourself because you thought it's affecting and disturbing the image that you had made out of yourself, how you are, who you are, what you are. And now, even that action doesn't exist. Even you have completely, as the law of nature, recovered right away, and nothing has happened to you, but you constantly think that my image, I have to get, your image is back to normal, perfect, because nothing can disturb the image. We make images every day, hundreds of them. This moment, I have the image of talking to you as a whatever, blah, 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 blah. And then next moment, I'm the image of son taking my mother to dentist. And this morning, I was the image of a realtor trying to show properties. And this afternoon, I may be teaching at university the courses that I could be having. The next day, I could be a friend. The next day, I could be an athlete. The images are constantly come and go. So why is it that you think that one image you had in one instant or in one duration of your life that was certainly disturbed by something, some incident, could actually have a detrimental effect on your life, or on who you are, what you are, and so on and so forth? It is you who think that your whole life has been condensed to one incident. One incident that was created or caused by the insolence and shortcomings and the fear and lack of ability to handle themselves of somebody else. Who are they to begin with that their action could have any kind of a real consequence to you, your image, who you are, your life, your plans, your psyche? It is you who actually has a misunderstanding about that something happening has an effect more than a few seconds, or if it would have any effect for any long term. It doesn't. We are like water. Something disturbs us, it disturbs the water, it creates waves, reaction of the water to whatever it is, however it sees fit, however it seems logical or reasonable at that moment, good or bad, right or wrong, and then it becomes as perfect and as strong, as natural as it was, undisturbed like before. Same thing with us. Our energy gets disturbed for one reason or another. Quickly, within seconds, we are part of the big energy of the universe, and that energy of the universe is constantly adjusting and moving and replenishing and recovering whatever disturbance it may have caused it to have a movement. So, let us focus on what the actuality is than what illusory stuff are. As long as, look, think of it right now about your relationship. Why is it that we constantly focus on things that possibly has happened in the past, or possibly is not as perfect as we wanted it to be today? Why do we think that these things only? Why don't I think about the fact that I'm really, with all the concerns that I may be having in my life, right this moment, why wouldn't I be thinking about this moment that I'm talking to you, this possibility of sitting here on the couch and nice weather out there, it's, for me, it's nice because it's cool, it's not warm, it's not hot, it's tranquil. I have a tea cup and a tea in it. It's important. Tea cup by itself is not going to do it. And tea in it, and I'm sitting relaxed and safe. I have food in the fridge. I have my car down in parking. I can serve my loved ones. I can do my work. I can earn a living. I can come to my place and watch a movie or write something or work on whatever I like, my books, and maybe go take a walk or go to a gym. Why don't I think of all these wonderful things that are happening in our lives, and we only focus on one incident or two incidents or whatever it is that is bugging us because we're thinking about it? So why don't we just not think about it? How? By thinking about all the good things that we have in our life. Why are we always looking and thinking about the things that we were bothered with and they don't even exist? They're dead, they're gone. Why? Why do we not focus on all the wonderful things that brings so much happiness and contentment to our life? Why do we shrink life in one incident, in one relationship, in one person, in one event? Why can't we see life as what it is, as big, as huge, as humongous, as full of possibilities, as full of hope and full of strength? and full of good people that it is made out of. Why don't we focus on all the things that makes us happy and makes us satisfied, makes us feel good about ourselves, makes us and show us what real good image that we have? Why do we always go for those little bits of pieces of shit here and there? Everything in this universe, everybody's life, every physical part of this life, or emotional or non-physical part of this life, has shits in it. That's part of the whole package. You know, everything has this and that. Sunshine, shade, hunger, filled stomach, happiness, sadness, health, sickness, cleanness, shitness, good day, shitty day, good people, shitty people, good relationship, not a good relationship, nice people, polite, respectful, positive people, assholes, idiots, losers, cowards, stupids, thieves, criminals. All kinds of things are out there. It's part of this whole thing that we're in. Nobody said this is an absolute universe, that everything is perfect in it, so we should be expecting everybody to behave properly, and if somebody didn't, and they were out of line, or they were silly or stupid, or they broke a relationship, or did something of disturbance nature, we should now think and focus on that and think that something of that sort has actually or could actually ever affect our life. Life is far bigger than that. Life is what we just explained. If something falls in it, it creates a little wave, and then life is so big that engulfs it like it never happened. So why do we go against the reality and we think, no, something has happened? No, it has engulfed it, and it always will, and nothing has happened. There's no residues of it. You just go on and focus on how vast this energy and this ocean of life is, how powerful and strong you are, and what you're made of, what you're connected to, the whole energy of the universe. Therefore, all disturbance would naturally fill over and become calm and strong as your reality of existence is. Your psyche is always recovering. You simply got to realize that and focus on all the wonderful things that you have. And that would be the end of your pain, really. Simple. Think about it. And we can talk about this some other time, a little bit more. It's time for me to take a break. Talk to you soon.